The first game in the 7-game homestand got away from the Tribe quickly last night as Jim Thome made a triumphant return to Progressive Field. Tonight, the Zack Attack will try to cool off the O's bat rack and get the Indians a quality start. So fan off and be prepared to get out of the way. The Tribe's coming at you next on Sports Time Ohio. From Progressive Field in downtown Cleveland, Ohio, it's Game 2 of this 4-game series between the Tribe and the Baltimore Orioles. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. News this afternoon. Fausto Carmona, now Roberto Hernandez, received his United States visa. He's on his way to Cleveland. He'll be here tomorrow. Major League Baseball, however, has suspended him for 3 weeks, so he will not be eligible to rejoin the Indians until August the 11th. Here's Indians general manager Chris Antonetti.
Fortunately, Roberto has put in a lot of work in the Dominican. He's worked out consistently at our academy. He's been up to 5 innings and 70, 75 pitches or so. So he's not beginning the process from the start. It's not a typical spring training. He'll just need to build up his volume from there. So whether it's 3 or 4 minor league rehab starts, we'll see, but it'll be somewhere in that range.
And you figure he would have to go down to start at least 5 games to face some legitimate hitters over here and see what happens. And hopefully he's going to be able to come out and help this ball club.
It'd be nice to get him back. It was not nice to see Jim Thome back wearing an opponent's uniform last night. Thome picking up right where he left off, hitting in this ballpark. The Orioles as a team had 11 hits in the game, 9 for extra bases, including the double and the homer here by Thome.
Well, they kept throwing Jim Thome down into the nitro zone. He's a great low ball hitter, and Jim Thome hasn't stopped in this ballpark. He is now 7th on the all-time list with 610 home runs, 189 at the Jake or Progressive Field, whatever you want to call it. And Jim Thome just continues to hit, and he feels right at home here.
Well, the Indians need a good start tonight because their starting pitching has struggled here of late. And Zach McAllister is on the hill for the Indians. As we take a look at our Nissan Road Ahead pitching matchup, he pitched a tough ball game his last time out down in St. Pete.
Yeah, he had to grind it out because he didn't have his good fastball command. He was moving it in and out, and he got hit with a line drive and hung in there and pitched a whale of a ball game. They are 6-2 in his 8 starts so far this year. He'll be matched up against Chris Tillman, who's making his 3rd start this year.
Get to a Nissan dealer for special offers on innovation that excites. Driving the Orioles, Indians will try to even things up at a game apiece with the Birds, and the play-by-play is coming up next. And we welcome you into Progressive Field on a beautiful evening here in downtown. It's going to be 79 degrees at game time. Hardly a cloud in the sky as the Indians and the O's square off in game 2 of this 4-gamer. Baltimore winning last night to go 5 games above the 500 mark, but the Birds still 8 games back of front-running New York in the AL East. Meanwhile, the Indians are now 3.5. The Indians are 3 games back of Detroit. The Tigers beat Chicago, and they've taken over the top spot in the American League Central Division, knocking the White Sox a half game back. And the Tigers right now are steamrolling. They've won 9 out of 11. They're playing very good baseball. Won 4 in a row. White Sox have lost 4 straight. So we'll see if the Indians can get things turned around. They were shellacked last night 10-2 as Zach McAllister takes the hill for the Indians here this evening. And let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Baltimore Orioles. Brought to you by Kia. Nick Markakis, J.J. Hardy, and Jim Thome. Adam Jones, Matt Wieters, Wilson Bettamy, Chris Davis, Mark Reynolds, Ryan Flaherty.
Take a look at the Indians starting pitcher. It's Zach McAllister tonight, and brought to you by MLB.com at Bat 12 for the new iPad. Zach making his 9th start, 4-1 record, a 3.17 ERA. He's pitched very well at home here in this ballpark. He's 2-0 in 5 starts, and an ERA at just a bit over 3. Second start against the Baltimore Orioles. He beat them back on June 28th. It was his first road win, where he went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, a couple of runs, and he did allow 1 home run. Left leading that ball game 4-2. And we'll see if Zach can keep him on track tonight. Let's check out the defense behind McAllister this evening. It stacks up this way. Damon on left, Brantley in center, Chu is in right. Hanahan at third, Cabrera at short, Kipnis at second, Kochman at first, Santana behind the plate.
Jerry Lane will call the balls and strikes, the crew chief. Vic Carapazza is at first. Larry Vanover at second. Dan Bellino down at third. Nick Markakis will lead it off for Baltimore. The Orioles right fielder was 0 for 4 last night in the series opener. And the first pitch of the game is low, ball 1. Markakis shoots it back foul to even the count.
Well, for McAllister in his last start, 3-2 win, he had a little issue with his commanding his fastball. He did walk 4. But, I mean, he was close. He was around the plate and really wasn't getting a lot of calls.
Line to center. And a good jump by Brantley, but he couldn't get to it. And a base hit for Nick Markakis, who is now 13 for 36 since coming back from the disabled list for Baltimore. And with more on Indians starter Zach McAllister, here's Katie with him.
Well, guys, I had a chance to speak with Zach, and he told me, he really learned a lot about himself coming out of that last start against the Rays. He said, obviously, he didn't have his best stuff, and it really gave him a lot of confidence knowing that without his best stuff, he could not only keep his team in the game, but also continue to get out a very good Rays lineup.
Yeah, when you realize when you get to this level, every team you face is a pretty good lineup, and there's going to be days where you walk out there and you don't have your best stuff. And there may be quite a few times, but you find a way to pitch around it, and he did just that in his last start.
Meanwhile, J.J. Hardy squared around a bunt, took a strike. Hardy is in a funk offensively as he fouls that one right back. The Orioles shortstop homered against the Indians back on June the 28th. And since then, he has gone 8 for 76. That's a 105 average.
Wow. And that was the McAllister start. He's the one that homered off Zach.
The 0-2.
Got him.
Got him looking his right. Hardy strikes out, 1 down.
Nice pitch right at the knees. Good fastball. He didn't pull the trigger. And when you're scuffling, a lot of times he just doesn't pick it up. You could see he opened up a little bit. He let it go. He was hoping it was called the ball, but no siree. Plenty of plate at the knees.
Now Jim Thome. And his return to Cleveland last night went 3 for 5 with a double and a homer. Check swing foul. And as you pointed out in our open, if you're going to pitch Jim Thome from the belt to the knees, then you're asking for trouble. You got to go at him above the belt.
Well, yeah, and the ball he hit out on Derek Lowe was a slider that was down in his wheelhouse, man.
Double play ball. Cabrera to Hanahan on to Kochman. And that's a 6-5-3 twin killer to end the first. The Indians coming to bat when we come back. Starting lineup brought to you by Progressive Insurance, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Shin-Soo Choo tearing it up against Baltimore pitching so far this year. He'll bat leadoff, then Asdrubal Cabrera, followed by Jason Kipnis. Brantley Santana, Hafner occupy the middle third, then Johnny Damon, Casey Kochman, and Jack Hanahan.
Chris Tillman on the mound, 23-year-old right-hander, 6'5", 210 pounds. And was recalled July 4th, and he'll be making his third start in the big leagues. Started his first game against the Mariners and went 8 1/3 innings ago. Gave up 2 hits and 2 runs, no earned runs. His last start, he got lunched. He gave up 2/3 of an inning, 5 hits, 7 runs, but only 1 earned. So this guy's given up 8 unearned runs out of the 9 he has given up.
Yeah, he went from the longest outing of his career to the shortest in the span of 1 start.
So maybe we'll find something in between here in this start.
And that's what they're hoping for. He's a guy with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball and a good curveball. But they said in his last start against Minnesota, even though he had the defense poorly behind him, early on it was evident he couldn't locate his fastball and he had no breaking ball. That's not a good combination.
No, it's not.
Shin-Soo Choo, 2 for 4 with a double last night. Not a play, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He made 15 starts down in Norfolk and was 8-8 in AAA this year.
There's a long fly ball, deep right. Markakis back, looking up. It is gone to Souvenir City. Shin-Soo Choo, home run number 11. And the Indians jump to a 1-0 lead.
Boy, oh boy, he has done that 6 times now in the leadoff spot to lead off a game.
No, he's giving you that power bat at the top of the lineup.
I mean, 5 times. I'm sorry. Out of 11 home runs, he gets that fastball to his liking. He drills it out of here. They didn't get that one. They may have wanted it inside a little bit more. You see, he pulled his hands in nicely. So the Indians are going to play from in front tonight. 1-0 on Chu's 11th homer.
And as you pointed out, almost half of his home runs have come to start a game. You know, that's something that for so many years Grady Sizemore gave the Indians at the top of the lineup.
I mean, you don't look for it. You look for him to get on base and make something happen, but it's nice when you can swing it one time and you can jog around the bases and you have a 1-0 lead when you're playing at home. Or even when you're on the road. If you do it, you go out there with a 1-0 lead.
As Drupal Cabrera 1 for 3. He homered last night in the first inning. This one's popped back out of play. And that leads us to our great clip of last night's game. This, at the time, made it a tie ball game. As Drupal Cabrera's team-leading 12th home run of the year. Great clips. It's going to be great. Chris Tillman with the 2-2 to Cabrera, and it's fouled right back. He's on him at that 94, 95 mile an hour fastball. Cabrera just hasn't been able to square it up.
It's nice hearing this crowd early. Didn't have a chance to hear it last night. Orioles scored in the top, although the Indians did come back. But by the 3rd inning, a big 6-run inning took them out of it. That's a big curveball right there. That's a tough pitch to throw for strikes. That 12-6, you're a big guy, and you got to have that right feel for that pitch working for you if you're going to command it.
Bang foul by Cabrera, who's having a good AB here. Making Tillman throw a lot of pitches. Jason Kipnis waiting on deck. And Cabrera strikes out. 1 away. Our stat of the game brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. The Orioles have allowed 3 solo home runs in the series, and 21 of the last 23 homers they've allowed as a pitching staff have all been solos. Not
bad. I'll tell you what, if you got to give up the solo shots. It's 1 run and you get back to business. It's when they have 2 and 3 runs or guys on base that hurt.
And Jason Kipnis looks at ball 1 up high. Kipnis 1 for 4 with a double last night. Blooped down the left side, but foul. That's going to go out of play. Now the 1-1. And a line drive towards center field. Adam Jones makes the catch. 2 down.
Let's take a look at the Home Depot Orioles defense behind Tillman tonight. Davis is in left, Jones in center, Markakis in right. Betamit at third, Hardy is at short, Flaherty at second, Reynolds is at first with Wieters behind the plate. More savings, more doing. That's the power of Home Depot.
With 2 down, Michael Brantley coming to the plate. Tried to bunt, and it's back foul. Brantley 0 for his last 8. Maniac and Bruce Fields discussing things there. You know, Brantley, even though he's batting cleanup, that's not a bad play if Bedemeat's playing back to try to bunt your way aboard. It's one thing if you're a guy with 25 home runs and you're expecting him to drive the ball.
Well, yeah, Michael, I think Michael might have one bunt hit this year. I don't recall him bunting more than a couple of times at all. He's not a guy that, and he's a guy that could utilize his wheels.
2 bunt hits.
2 bunt
on
hits?
The year.
Well, I only remember 1. So
2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 down, bases empty here in the first. Chu homered to right to start the game for the Indians. And that's out of play. Chris Tillman came to the Orioles in exchange for Eric Bedard, along with Adam Jones. That's blooped down the left field line, but that's going to slice foul. The Mariners drafted and developed Chris Tillman. So that'll be a big thrill for him to get his first start against the Mariners. Brantley with a soft liner to right, and it's right at Markakis. Shin-Soo Choo's leadoff homer as the Tribe on top 1-0 after an inning here at Progressive Field. Baseball is brought to you by McDonald's Cherry Berry Chiller. Cherry and raspberry flavors blended with ice and 100% fruit juice. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Second inning, 1-0 Indians. 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up from Baltimore. Back out of play. Adam Jones Guy with good power, 22 homers. He's driven in 50. He also has 21 doubles on the year. And from the right side, he's a guy that bats up in the batter's box. Grounds one to third. Jack Hanahan cuts it off, throws him out, one away. That's going to bring up Matt Wieters, the Orioles switch hitting catcher, who was 0 for 4 last night. Wieters with a dozen home runs on the season.
You know, this is a Baltimore team. They can score runs, in a hurry because they hit the home run ball. They're third in the league behind the Yankees in Toronto with 116. They have a lineup he can pitch to. They're 11th in batting average, hitting .240, 11th in runs scored. They're 12th in walks. They don't steal a lot of bases. So you just got to be careful and keep the ball in the yard to this team.
Slicing foul, and Johnny Damon over to the seats, can't get to it.
And McAllister back on track compared to his last start. He's thrown 11 straight strikes.
Johnny Damon showing he's not afraid to go just about anywhere to get an out. Went into the seats last night, knocked the guy out of the way. That stayed fair, or I guess they hit him in the box.
Yeah. Looked like the deflected off the glove and into the mask.
No balls, 2 strikes. That's high in the air to left. Damon camps under it. And we've got 2 down here in the second.
Well, you can load up on your favorite ballpark food right here at Progressive Field, all for just $8. The Hot Dog Classic Combo Deal includes a Sugardale all-beef hot dog, a 16-ounce Pepsi, and a large popcorn. Then you have the Brat Classic Combo Deal, includes a Brat and a 12-ounce beer, and both combos are just $8. So log on to Indians.com for your tickets.
Here is Wilson Betemit. Betemit 1 for 2 with a double last night. He also walked 3 times. Betemit batting .412 against Indians pitching this year and a .319 career average against the Tribe. High pop to center. Brantley makes the grab. And on 9 pitches, Zach McAllister cruises through the second. 1-0 Cleveland. Santana, Travis Hafner, Johnny Damon coming up here for the Indians as the Tribe trying to stop the O's and stop the O's 3-game win streak. Chris Tillman allowed the solo homer to Shin-Soo Choo to start the first, but he also gave up a couple of wild outs. Jason Kipnis, Michael Brantley with line drive outs to the outfield. Santana 0 for 1 last night, but he walked twice and was also hit by a pitch. Despite hitting just .223, Santana with a .360 on base percentage due to the fact that he has walked 57 times.
Well, we saw him do this in Toronto. Go ahead and take it. They're giving you the bunt. Just push it down that line, get it started.
Or hammer it into the corner.
Yeah, you could do that too.
That'll go for extra bags. Santana on his way to second, and he'll stop there with a leadoff double. Whatever works. You want to bunt it, you want to hit a double, go ahead.
Well, he's on base. That's what you want. That leadoff man aboard. Choo homered. Now Santana doubles for Carlos, his 14th on the season. He comes back with a fastball, and he challenged him, and Carlos says, He's been waiting to get a couple of those fastballs. I mean, in that location. Usually he doesn't see him down there. So he pounds it into the corner.
Well, as you pointed out too, Rick, in Tampa, too many times we have seen Indians hitters in fastball counts get their fastball and then foul it back instead of really taking advantage.
Well, he's a good fastball hitter. They don't throw him fastballs to swing at a whole lot. You know,
no, they show it to him.
Yeah, they show it to him, and they attack him more with off-speed pitches. Here's a guy that's missed a lot of fastballs like that.
This one up. And an easy out, one away. Back downstairs to Katie Witham.
Well, make sure you get here to the ballpark early tomorrow. The first 15,000 fans through the gates will take home a free Charlie Nagy jersey, courtesy of First Energy Solutions. And make sure to take advantage of that free parking that the Indians have going on for you. Free transportation. Actually, you can park for free in the Gateway Garage, free RTA rail service, and also free shuttles from Ohio City. All you need is your game ticket.
There's Johnny Damon now, taking a strike. Damon 3 for 4 last night, a couple of infield singles. And that's back out of play. Santana at second base with one out. Grounded foul. Damon trying to battle down on the count 0-2. Broke his bat. And that's out number 2. Trivia question tonight brought to you by AT&T.
What do they have tonight?
Who holds the major league record for most consecutive errorless games by a shortstop? Because we don't want the minor league record.
Well, that's for both leagues, I think. Here we go. The major league record. That's short.
Major league record, most errorless games at short. I'm going to take a wild guess, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
Well, you usually do.
Gotcham does it. Shallow center. And the left fielder comes in, Davis, to make the grab. I got a feeling he's sitting not too far away from us.
Oh, nice. Thanks for sharing.
Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. One nothing Indians on top as we go to the third. Bottom third of the Baltimore order coming up here. It'll be Chris Davis, Mark Reynolds, and Ryan Flaherty. Second consecutive night. A touch of fall here in late July.
Tonight, I think, is much nicer.
Outside corner, a strike to Davis. Yeah, we don't have the breeze that we had last night.
Yeah, that was blowing in pretty stiff.
Chris Davis 2 for 4 with a double last night. High fly ball to left. Damon circling under it on the track. One down. Our injury report tonight brought to you by Elk & Elk. Serious lawyers for serious injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Johan Santana on the DL with a sprained right ankle.
Yeah, that no-hitter didn't do him very much good, did it? He has struggled ever since.
Near is Mark Reynolds. Was Santana's the no-hitter that it was 120, 130 pitches?
Yeah. Yeah, they had to keep him out there for a while to get it and give him the opportunity to.
And had instant replay been available for fair foul calls, it probably would have been.
Well, that was the sixth, yeah,
the
sixth
Pujols,
inning.
right?
That one.
Was it Pujols?
No, it was
Beltran.
Right.
Swung on and missed. 1-2 the count.
Kicked up chalk and called foul. I think he had 5 walks in that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Swing and a miss. McAllister strikes out Reynolds, his second K of the night. 2 down in the third.
Nice breaking ball by McAllister. So you get ahead, and he gets ahead, and he has been ahead tonight. 19 of his 24 pitches strikes, and then you expand the strike zone and get him to chase your pitch. He does it right there. Strikeout number 2 for Zach.
Ryan Flaherty 1 for 5 with a home run last night. Fouls that one right back. Flaherty had the big blast, a 3-runner. And that Baltimore third inning, which they opened it up. This was the home run, and Flaherty hammered out of here. That made it a 7-1 Baltimore lead. Swing and a miss, 1-2 the count. Boy, afterwards, Derek Lowe was about as down as I think I've seen him in the short time he's been here. Not that you would expect him to be, Don Rickles, but he was really, looked like he was really soul searching after that one. Fouled back.
Well, when you go out and you pitch like he did, that'll make you, sit down and
reevaluate.
Tough to accept.
Yeah.
It is tough to accept. He wants to turn it around. He wants to do well. His location, and it was a bad game for him. Nothing else you can say. He normally pitches very well in this ballpark, but he got hammered. Everything, extra base hits. He gave up, 7 hits, all of them extra bases.
5 doubles, 2 dingers. Now the 1-2. Ground ball to first. Kochman gobbles it up. And a 1-2-3 inning once again for McAllister, who has set down 8 straight since the leadoff single to Markakis to start the game. Another night of rock and blast after the ball game. Jack Hanahan, Shin-Soo Choo, and Asdrubal Cabrera coming up here for the Tribe. 3 o'clock game tomorrow, and then a 7 o'clock Monday nighter to wrap up the series, a 4-gamer between these two clubs, and then that Tigers come to town for a big showdown. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. As the Indians will get back into Central Division play. After hosting Detroit, the Tribe will hit the road to play Central Division foes. Hanahan loops one toward right, dropping in a hurry. Markakis with a dive, and he makes the catch.
Well, Markakis, he didn't play in that series in Baltimore, but a good outfielder. Ended up catching up to this ball and diving and putting it away. I thought it was going to drop in. All of a sudden, here he comes. Continues to come, and he dives and makes a nice catch. He's always around the top of the league with the assists because of that short right field wall. He throws a lot of guys out at second base, but he's a pretty good right fielder. He had the hamate bone injury on his hand. That's why he was out.
Shin-Soo Choo right back up the middle. Flag down by Hardy. Spins, throws, got him. Nicely done by J.J. Hardy to take a hit away from Choo.
Boy, you know, I've seen so many guys taken away from hits. When the pitcher tries to backhand it, and you think it's going to be up the middle. But nowadays, with defenses, the way they shift, there's a lot of guys they play right up the middle there. Hardy makes a nice play, turns and throws a strike to Reynolds for the out.
I don't think people appreciate how hard that is to do when you're spinning, moving, and to throw a P on the money.
On the money. I mean, he had something on it. It's very difficult to do. But, boy, there are a lot of times that hitters hit the ball sharply up the middle, and they'll have guys playing there. And it's every team. With all their extensive reports they send out on hitters now, it really is amazing. And usually that's how pitching and defense go hand in hand. When they hit a ball hard, it should be into the strength of your defense.
Well, how many times as Cabrera strikes out is the difference between a hit and an out? A step or two, and that's all it takes when you shift around. Indians go in order, 1-0. We go to the fourth. Move to the fourth inning. Top of the order coming up for Baltimore. Nick Markakis, who's the only bird to reach so far in the game, with a single to center field, will lead it off for Baltimore. McAllister has thrown 30 pitches for the Indians, and 24 of those have been strikes. And he starts him off with a off-speed pitch, strike one. If you missed it earlier, the Tigers beat the White Sox 7-1. Detroit moves into first place in the Central Division. The 0-2. A little bit low. The 1-2 in the air to left. Johnny Damon has it measured. He's got it. One away. Hey, log on to STOHD.com and sign up for a chance to win a $100 gas card courtesy of your Northeast Ohio Shell retailer and True North convenience stores. That'll make getting back to school or heading for a summer getaway or going on vacation a little bit easier on the wallet. One winner will be picked each week now until September 26th. J.J. Hardy called out on strikes his first time up. He is 1 out of 7 in the series. He socks that one to deep center. Brantley sprinting back. Makes the catch onto the track and hangs on for out number 2.
Boy, right in stride. Almost like a wide receiver, boy. He was led beautifully. He knew he had it. He had a beat on it and walks up, and at the last moment, you put your hand up. Hardy hit it well. Look at it. Brantley just cruising. He knew he had it all along. You can see the eyes. He knew he had plenty of room near the fence. 2 outs.
And Jim Thome, who hit into a double play his first time up, swings and sends one high in the air to deep center. Brantley back. He's got room. Front edge of the track. And a 7-pitch fourth for McAllister. He's flying along here tonight. 1-0 Cleveland, middle of the 4th. Night here, Indians Orioles 1-zip Tribe, bottom of the 4th inning. For the Tribe, it will be Jason Kipnis, Michael Brantley, and Carlos Santana. A lot of Saturday Tribe outings here tonight. Big house. We had over 30,000 here last night. Looks like we'll be right around that same number here tonight, maybe even more. 3 o'clock start tomorrow as the Indians and O's continue their series. Kipnis with a foul back. Chris Tillman gave up a leadoff homer to Shin-Soo Choo to start the game and a leadoff double to Carlos Santana in the second, but that's been it. Popped him up, foul ground. Wieters, nice wheels.
Yeah.
As he runs it down in front of the Tribe dugout for out number 1.
Yeah, nice catch. You know, a lot of times the catcher has a tough time seeing that ball hit up behind them, but watch how quickly he gets up. He did not, he picked it up in a hurry and gets out over there. Sometimes a lot of catchers, they don't know it's behind them and they don't know if it's left or right, and it takes them a while to pick it up.
Now Michael Brantley, who lined out to right field his first time up. right back. Good cut. Hey, Browns single game tickets are going to go on sale August the 1st, but how about this? We've got a chance for you to win tickets before they go on sale. Just log on to STOHD.com. And all you have to do is vote for your favorite moment in Browns history, and you got a chance to win tickets to a Browns game before they go on sale to the general public. Show us why you're a Browns fan for life. Log on to STOHD.com. Two-one pitch to Brantley. And a little bit low, 3 balls and a strike. Amazing how much difference a game can be when there are no walks, when guys are throwing strikes and they're in that rhythm.
Well, the flow of the game is so much better. Hitters are swinging, you know, they may take a couple of pitches, but I mean the game moves.
When hitters know it's going to be in or around the strike zone, they're aggressive. They're getting after it.
They know they'll swing. They're ready to swing. You know, and defenders are ready to field. I mean, these guys, you get better defense when guys work quickly and you throw strikes. It's amazing is right.
The 3-2 to Brantley. And a tapper foul over toward the O's dugout. 50 pitches made by Tillman, and 36 of those have been strikes. And McAllister's been even better than that.
Well, and you don't have guys stepping out of the box, stepping back in, and, you know, backing off. And it's the rhythm of the game is very good. It's key.
Fouls the fastball away, and again, it stays 3-2. It's been a 7-pitch at bat thus far for Brantley. Number 8 coming up right here. To left, Davis makes the catch. 2 away. University Hospitals presents our minor league update. Vinny Rotino, 17 games at AAA. He's batted .313. This guy's done a heck of a job. 2 for 4 with 2 ribbies and a run scored last night. Your cousin Vinny he'll be making his way to the big leagues.
We
before
already got
long.
my cousin Vinny out in the bullpen. He's we're gonna have to give him a new nickname.
Well, it won't be hard. I mean, Vinny Rotino. I mean, that opens it. There's a lot of possibilities there. But so far, he's done a heck of a job. You know, he's putting himself on the radar screen. Carlos Santana doubled into the right field corner his first time up. (2-0). And Santana taking ball 3. Now here's a count where Indians hitters have been urged to be a little more aggressive in of late.
3-0?
Pitchers have been just laying them in there a lot of times. 2-0, 3-0.
The way they've been swinging, I'd make them take 3-0. They haven't been able to, you know, jump on anything.
Well, the thinking is they've seen so many 2-1, 3-1 changeups. It's the 2-0, 3-0 fastballs are the ones you should be swinging at.
Well, that's I'm sure a lot of managers look at it, but you have to know your hitter, and I think trust your hitter that he's not just going to swing because it's a fastball. It has to be your pitch right there on a tee to swing it. If not, take it. I don't think most hitters are disciplined enough to do that.
Santana works it for a walk, first of the night. 2-out base runner for Travis Hafner, who popped up on the infield his only time up. Ball 1 to Hafner down low. Right back. 60 pitches now for Tillman. That was a fastball right there for Hafner, but he couldn't quite put it in play.
If you get it above the belt, he's not going to catch up to it. That's you put a good swing on it, but you foul it off. That's one where you have to make him bring it down a little bit.
Tillman finally comes set in the 1-1. A little bit outside. There have only been 3 hits in the game. Nick Markakis led off the game with a single for Baltimore, and that's been the only bird to reach. Shin-Soo Choo led off the game with a homer for the Indians, and Santana led off the second inning with a double. Now he's walked with 2 outs here in the 4th. Counting for the game's only other base runner is Hafner way out in front of the off-speed pitch. It's 2-2.
Well, that first pitch set up that changeup. When you throw him that fastball upstairs, he thinks he's getting another one, so you cheat on it to try and get out and hit it, and then the changeup comes. It's amazing how that works.
And the 2-2 is popped to center. Jones there. Inning over. 4 complete. 1-0 Cleveland. Brought to you by Panini's with 17 locations in Northeast Ohio. By Levin's, home of the Sealy Posturepedic mattress made right here in Northeast Ohio. By Kia, Cleveland.com. And by First Merit Bank. All right, we go now to the 5th inning with a 1-0 Indians lead. Adam Jones, a swing and a miss. That's the 38th pitch for McAllister tonight. By comparison, last night, after 4 innings, Derek Lowe and Cody Allen combined and throw 112 through 4 innings. So, what a difference a day makes sometimes. Jones caught in between.
Yeah,
0-2.
that's exactly right. Caught in between. He started him off with a good slider, then rides that fastball upstairs at about 94.
Jones was good to just get a piece of that. Watch the movement on
at least a half a dozen 0-2, 1-2 counts where he's had to make the hitters go out and expand their strike zone. 6 0-2, 1-2 counts.
Fastball, and I just blew him away.
Boy, he schooled him right there. That was really well done, that sequence.
3rd strikeout.
I mean, when you look at it, let's see. He's going to start him off with the off-speed pitch. Great, out of the zone, gets him a swing. Then he rides the fastball up. 2 balls, he swings and gets him a strike. He was lucky to get a piece of that one. So breaking ball, fastball, sit down. He fouled one off.
Matt Wieters.
Well done.
Takes a breaking ball for a strike.
He's got all 3 working tonight, something he didn't have last start. And he's in a very nice groove.
He's working fast, too. That ball's hit the left. Damon on the run. Slides. Can't make the catch. It's called a fair ball, and it pops up into the seats. Now, Damon's saying it's a foul ball.
No, he didn't see it. He was sliding. He's looking for help from Michael Brantley, and he's too far away. That ball, I think he did. While he was sliding, he touched it in fair territory, and it kicked up into the seats. He's coming over, and he hit it.
Yeah.
That's a fair ball.
Yep, sure was. It landed fair.
Yeah, and it ricochets into the seats by about a foot. You see, he's going over to that tartan track. You can't go on your stomach on that rubberized track because, I mean, you'll hit and skid. So you had to almost go into a slide right there.
Nice effort. 2nd hit of the game for Baltimore. And a runner in scoring position with 1 out for Wilson Bedemeet, who flied to center his first time up. Quickly, the count 0-2 on Bedemeet. Fastball away. And the count 1-2.
$11 of 15 first pitch strikes. You love that.
Trying to put him away here for out number 2. And he does. 4th strikeout for McAllister. 2 down here in the 5th.
Comes back and gets another strikeout with the breaking ball. Boy, he's spotting it well.
He's been fun to watch tonight. Here's Chris Davis, fly to left, his first and only time up. Chased a high fastball, and Baltimore can't lay off his fastball either.
And you're not going to catch up to it above the belt. You know, they have big swings. They strike out a lot. So go ahead and ride that fastball upstairs. They'll go after it. And then he's got the nice compliment of a breaking ball. That was a fastball right there.
Yep.
That was down a little bit more. He could even elevate it.
Now with 2 strikes, he's got a number of different ways he can ride that fastball up out of the strike zone, get him to chase. Or he could try to get him to chase that slider. Changeup might also be a good option here. 2-strike delivery, high fastball. $40 out of 50 pitches for strikes.
All right, let's send out some birthday wishes. Storm Kelly and Skylar Kelly. Storm is turning 5. Skylar turning 3. They're from Brunswick. Happy birthday to you. Edgar Eckenrode of Sheffield Lake is 90. Bob Kluman of Salem is 72. Happy birthday. And Jim Dunn is 56 in Strongsville. Happy birthday to each and every one.
Happy birthday to all. How about that? 5 and 3 on the same day?
Yes, indeed.
McAllister, the 1-2 pitch. Ooh, that was very close. Looked like it was going to be a strike 3 called situation.
Well, Jerry Lane figures, okay, it might have wrapped around, and it might have been a little bit outside. But, you know, when you're throwing a lot of pitches around the plate, sometimes you get them. He didn't get it.
Now the 2-2. And that fastball ripped back to the screen.
Lane's a veteran guy. You know, he's not going to get caught up in a moment because this guy's pounding the strike zone. Then all of a sudden he misses by 2 or 3 inches. You're going to give it to him. You're going to make him throw it for a strike.
Hard hit bouncer to second. Kipnis swallows it up, throws him out, and the inning is over. A 1-out double does no damage. Middle of the 5th, it remains 1-0 Cleveland. Bottom of the 5th inning, bottom third of the order coming up for the Tribe. It's been a well-pitched game on both sides.
Yes, it has. It's been a fun game.
The only mistake, if you want to call it that, or the difference, let's just say that, the difference in the game, a leadoff homer by Shin-Soo Choo in the first.
Yeah,
that's it.
Choo got on a fastball. 5th time this year. He has led off a game with a home run, and that is the difference.
4 hits in the game, and 3 of them extra bases. Each team with a double. Choo's homer, and the Orioles had a leadoff single by Nick Markakis to start the game. But he was erased on the double play. Johnny Damon bounced out to second, his only time up. Hit the side of the mound and rolls right to the second baseman Flaherty. 1 away. The game recap brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers and Shin-Soo Choo for the 5th time this year. Starts the game off with a home run. His 11th dinger all on the year. And as I said, 5 of them have been leadoff homers. Find out about more than 30 Toyota offers available now at buyatoyota.com. Casey Kochman flied to left, his only time up. Missed inside. And a line drive single into center field for Casey Kochman. And the Indians have their third hit tonight. And we'll send you back to the Hyundai Studios for an in-game update with Al Pawlowski.
Hey, Matt, Rick, let's go to Fenway Park in Boston tonight. The Red Sox taking on the Blue Jays, bottom of the second inning. And it's Jared Saltalamacchia, another homer, a 3-run shot here. It's his 18th of the year. Toronto adds a single run in the top of the third. 3-1 Boston, bottom of the third. Matt?
All right, thanks a lot, Al. The other news today of note, the White Sox went out and made a trade. They sent 2 minor leaguers to the Houston Astros to pick up Brett Myers. Myers had 19 saves for the Astros this year and a 3.52 ERA, so they get an experienced arm to add to a very young bullpen. It's believed that Myers will work in a setup role to Addison Reed for Chicago. One on, one out for Jack Hanahan. Curveball. That's that big overhander you talked about earlier, and it just hammered right down into the ground.
He started, was it Damon out with that curveball first pitch? You see how high he had to start it to get it in the strike zone. When that ball starts out at your shoulders or just a little bit below, it's going to, go into the dirt. That's a pitch you have to lay off of. You don't want to swing at unless you absolutely have to.
There's a line drop, base hit to center field. Kochman a late break, but he wouldn't have gotten to third anyway. And so the Indians with back-to-back hits for the first time in the game. And they've got 2 on with 1 out for Shin-Soo Choo.
Well, Kochman hit the fastball, and now Hanahan hits a changeup. He hit a changeup for the home run last night. That ball was out over the plate. He was able to keep his hands back. He lines this one up the middle. So back-to-back singles. 1 out, and we'll turn it over to the top part of the lineup.
Choo homered in the first, grounded to short his last time up. In a single season, Grady Sizemore had 7 leadoff homers in 08. 5 this year by Choo, match the 5 hit by Kenny Lofton in 99.
Well, I have a feeling Choo's not done yet.
I was going to say, for a guy who's never been a leadoff hitter.
Right.
He stepped in and he's been terrific.
Hasn't missed a beat. He's been outstanding. Doubles, scoring runs, home runs coming. Because they pitched to him. He's getting fastballs in, and I mean, even he's using the whole field now. Done a beautiful job.
Tillman with a 1-1. And Choo fouling it Into the glove, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
So far, the key for the Indians is trying to get Tillman into a 2-0 count. He's had 4 of them tonight. And the Tribe, they're 3 for 3 with a walk when he has been 2-0. When he gets ahead of him, he's been able to put him away.
Up high with a fastball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. O's manager Buck Showalter's watched Tillman throw a dandy here tonight. In a little trouble here with 2 on and 1 out. And Chu fouls it right back. But the nice thing for if you're Buck Showalter is, you know, as you said at the outset, Rick, his first start, 8 innings, tremendous. His last start, he didn't get out of the first inning. So you're kind of going, well, which guy is he?
You know what? Here you go. That unearned runs. Out of his 9 runs given up, but 8 of them were unearned. So maybe it's another young pitcher that, you know, had to battle his way and couldn't get out or make the pitch when he had to get out of that inning. Didn't see him start. Didn't see his pitches, but he has good stuff.
He has strikes out Chu here. A big out, 2 down. That's a 3rd K for Tillman. And that'll leave it up to Cabrera now.
He goes up top, and there's that big breaking ball. That was so high that it didn't really come down. It stayed up out of the zone. I think Chu was expecting that ball to break more than it did.
Yeah,
and it just never came down.
himself.
Yeah, he was, because it was a ball to begin with.
Well, Asdrubal Cabrera hasn't done much better. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out swinging, and he has been called out on strikes. But he's got a chance to inflict some damage here. Bouncing it foul. By the way, in case you didn't hear, the Indians signed left-hander J.C. Romero to a minor league deal. You may recall years ago he faced the Indians part of that Twins bullpen. Seemed like every time we faced him,
he was in Philadelphia for
he
years,
was coming into a game. But he's 36 years old. Who knows what he's got left in the tank? But the Indians are going to kick the tires and give it a look.
He can get wild too. I haven't seen him pitch in a while, but
popped up foul. Bettamy to the seats, can't get to it. And the Orioles, after last night's game, sent Steve Pearce packing, extra outfielder, and they signed Omar Quintanilla, who is an infielder. Two on, 2 out. Cabrera down in the count, 0-2. And a fastball right back to the screen.
All right, come on down to Progressive Field Thursday for Dollar Dog Night. Buy early, save on your seats as the Tribe will take on the Tigers. You can enjoy hot dogs for only $1 all night long, courtesy of Sugardale. Log on to Indians.com.
Down low. He did not go around. And that misses low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Tillman having to work for it here in the 5th. But he's 1 strike from getting out of the jam with 2 on, 2 out on the 2-2 pitch to Cabrera. And a curveball hit high in the air to left. Davis is there, and the inning is over. We go to the 6th. It remains Cleveland 1, Baltimore nothing.
Extreme Fan Zone with today's lucky $25 Indians Fun Money winner, Rachel. Rachel, first off, congratulations. I know you guys are having a great time out here. Are you having fun in this section?
We're having amazing time. Everyone has a sign. It's an amazing time.
Absolutely. You guys could be a winner too. All you have to do is buy tickets to sit out here in the Subway Extreme Fan Zone. Subway, where winners eat. Matt, Rick, we'll send it back over to you guys.
Thanks, Katie. 1-0 Indians, top of the 6th inning. Mark Reynolds, Ryan Flaherty, and Nick Markakis coming up for the Birds. Reynolds struck out his first time up. Zach McAllister has pitched a gem, but he's only got a 1-0 lead. Fastball, strike one. And it's quickly 0-2 on Reynolds. Blew him away. I mean, 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. 5 strikeouts for McAllister, which leads us to our highlight reel brought to you by your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers.
I mean, he is changing the eye level. He's changing speeds. He is working quickly. And you remember, he was drilled in that forearm in his last start. It hasn't affected him. He has not had a 3-ball count tonight. He's 10 swings and misses on the evening. He's been great.
The 0-1. Ryan Flaherty takes a look. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Bounced out to first, his only time up. And at this point, and we're in the 6th inning, McAllister is 1 over the minimum. Hit the left center. Brantley on the move, on the track, pulls it down. 2 away. Well, the Atlanta Braves are closing in on the Washington Nationals. They're trying to sweep a doubleheader.
Wow. How about that game yesterday? That was a dogfight, wasn't it? 11-10 in 11 innings. Atlanta was down 9 runs in that game. Strasburg on the mound.
How about that to come back from a 9-run deficit?
Yeah.
Well, it's not that anybody was ready to just hand Washington the crown, but they've just been such a great story this year with the young pitching and the way they've come together and taken the East by storm. But
get back into your division, it gets interesting.
Atlanta shut them out 4-0 this afternoon to win their 3rd straight, send the Nationals to their 3rd straight loss, and all of a sudden they're a game and a half out going into the nightcap.
And they're down 2-0.
The Nationals are, yeah.
Correct.
And Zach McAllister has Nick Markakis down on the count 1-2. The pitch. A little bit outside. Now the 2-2 delivery. And Markakis fights it off.
The interesting story in that Atlanta game today in the 4-0, Ben Sheets pitched his 2nd game for Atlanta and got the win there. And
kind of forgot about him, yeah.
Well, he hasn't pitched since 2010, and he hasn't allowed an earned run yet in his 2 starts.
Lazy fly to left, and another strong inning for Zach McAllister. What a job he's done so far tonight, shutting out the Birds through 6. It's your birthday. You're on TV. Your arms are tired, but the Tribe's winning. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Kipnis, Brantley, and Santana coming up. And a good breaking ball downstairs. 1-on-1 to count. Two and one to count for Jason Kipnis. He lined to center in the first. He fouled out in the 4th inning, right in front of the Tribe's dugout. Now one hopper to second, and his counterpart Flaherty throws him out. One down, and before Michael Brantley steps up, another look at the AT&T trivia question. Major League record for most consecutive errorless games by a shortstop.
Well, your thought process was right. You told me Mike Bordick, and he's over there doing the game in the booth. I would have never thought of him, but
110 straight.
Yeah, he was an excellent shortstop. You know, I guess Jim Palmer wanted to take some time off. He's probably in L.A. chilling. I wanted to talk to Palmer this trip too.
Straighten him out a little bit.
I had to ask him something. That's all. I'll have to wait till next year. I got to wear those tire tracks for another 8 months.
In the hole, backhanded by Hardy. Long throw, and Brantley beats it out. Michael with an infield single. And that stops an 0 for 10 slump for Brantley. And he's aboard with one out here in the 6th.
And good hustle. And it was a great effort by Hardy. He gets over there. And Brantley, when you hit it that way, that gives you the opportunity. If you try and pull that ball, different story. He beats it out. Hardy made and did everything in his powers to get it out. Made a good throw and everything, but Brantley beats it out. Hit number 5 for the Indians.
Tillman at 90 pitches, 60 of his 90 have been strikes. Santana coming up. He doubled in the 2nd. He walked his last time up. And a pitch fouled back. In a 1-0 game, do you try to force the issue and see if Brantley can steal a base here?
Not here.
With 1 out?
I wouldn't. Unless, I mean, I'm going to look and see his move first. Wieters throws very well from behind the plate.
Santana down on the count now, 0-2.
Just be heads up for they're going fastball up. I was going to say for that curveball in the dirt. He'll probably follow it up if he doesn't get an out here or a hit. There. Change your eye level, put it up above the letters. See if he follows it up with the curveball or comes back with his changeup. Because he fed him 2 fastballs early in the count to get 0-2. So I think it's about time for an off-speed pitch. Fastball away. Wrong again.
Might be cognizant of the fact that Brantley could be taken off. That's bloop toward left. Long run. The Better-Meet there to make the catch. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Travis Hafner, who is 0 for 2 tonight. And Pronk popped up on the infield in the 2nd, fly to center to end the 4th inning. Brantley bluffed the move towards second base, and Hafner takes a strike. Slowly chopped foul. And it's 0-2. Texas beat up the Angels earlier today 9-2. They rang up 15 hits on the Halos. And
Urban Santana started that game.
Rangers
Darvish
now leads by 6 games over LA in the AL West. But the Angels, like a lot of teams, are saying, well, that's all right. We're right there in the wild card hunt, too. The 0-2. Fouled back. In fact, at 51 and 44, the Angels and the White Sox would be almost in a dead heat.
How about Oakland in that division?
Yeah, they started
up.
Today
They beat the Yankees
44.
twice, and I mean they're only 6.5 back, but I mean they're starting to get some pretty solid pitching over there.
But wild card wise, they're right there. They've won 3 in a row. Right there with everybody else.
They have the best pitching in the league at a 3.40 team ERA. Tampa's second, Texas third. But I mean they're amazing. You don't hear anything about them. And they're finding a way to turn it over and win a few ball games.
Tillman with a 2-strike pitch. Brantley takes off, and Hafner strikes out. That'll end the inning. 6 complete, 1-0 Cleveland.
Right now, 1-0. Now make sure you get out here to the ballpark early tomorrow. The first 15,000 fans through the gates will take home a free Charlie Nagy jersey, courtesy of First Energy Solutions. And while you're here, make sure to stop over at the concession stand. They've got classic combo deals going on right now. You can get the hot dog classic combo. They get you a hot dog, a Pepsi, and a popcorn, or the brat classic combo, a brat and a beer, all for just $8. If you need your tickets, log on to Indians.com and check it all out there right now.
It remains a 1-0 Indians lead as we go to the 7th inning. And Zach McAllister delivers low and outside to J.J. Hardy, who is 0 for 2 on the night. That's in there for a strike to even the count. McAllister, sensational. Hardy yanks it left field, a base hit. And the Orioles had their leadoff man aboard for only the second time tonight. And that's just the third hit allowed by McAllister.
Yeah, it looked like it came off a breaking ball here. Yeah, it did, and that one stayed inside. Hardy's a good breaking ball hitter. But he comes back and blinds that one in the left field. So the leadoff man aboard.
Jim Thome fly to deep center his last time up. That's hit deep to right. And that baby is gone. That got out of here in the blink of an eye. And for Jim Thome, his second home run in the series. And he just keeps on adding to his Hall of Fame to be totals. Home run number 611 in his career. And that puts Baltimore on top 2-1.
Well, that one didn't take long. He gets a fastball. Is it down? Yeah, it's down mid-thigh. Boy, and he got the head out on that one. And he lines it, and it gets into the seats in a hurry. So it's 2-1 Baltimore now. Thome's second homer in as many nights.
Adam Jones 0 for 2. Man takes a strike. Jones fouling it back. No balls, 2 strikes. And the 0-2. Jones got a piece. League leaders brought to you by your Cleveland Akron area Lexus dealers. Among active players, only Alex Rodriguez ahead of Jim Thome. The 2-strike pitch. Bounced to short. Cabrera takes care of that one away. Thome can put another one in the book.
What, here? Yeah, 190 here at Progressive Field.
And another pitcher.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is like home, man. He grew up in this place. So, you know, I mean, even though he's been gone, he's been in Philly, he's been in Chicago, he's been all over the place. You see, he can still walk into this batter's box and it feels like home to him. So that doesn't surprise me. He's gone deep twice in this series at all. Zach got that ball just a little down too much for him. Wasn't elevated enough. And he hit it out.
The 0-2. A little bit outside. And the 1-2 offering. And he strikes him out with it. Half dozen Ks for McAllister. 2 down here in the 7th. Now to bring up Wilson Betemit. And that's up and away. Ball 1. Betemit has fly to center, and he has struck out here tonight. And he got him to chase that slider. He's had a good one all night long.
He's had everything. Good fastball. Most part, his location's been great. He's had 3 pitches to work with.
Liner to first, and Kochman snares it to end the inning. But Jim Thome with another blast to right field has Baltimore sitting on top 2-1. And it's time now for the 7th inning stretch. Brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic and their free walking program, Let's Move It. Mondays at Progressive Field and the Metro Parks Zoo. Visit letsmoveit.org for more information. To stop by and get overstuffed at Panini's Bar and Grill.
We'll see if the Indians can come back and get a couple runs right back. McAllister's thrown the ball too well tonight. Again, this offense only 1 run on the board on 5 hits.
Activity in the Baltimore bullpen as Tillman closes in on 100 pitches for the night. Damon shortened a bunt and takes a strike. Left-hander Troy Patton getting loose. And it's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's back to the screen. Up and away, 2-2 the count. Tillman delivers, and Damon bloops one toward left, but playing shallow is Davis. He reaches down and makes the catch. 1 away.
Well, that's a nice catch to keep that leadoff man off base. The ball was blooped in front of him. He kept coming. He's going to reach out and pick it up off the grass. So Davis, that's a nice catch. Keep Damon off base.
Kochman, a first pitch curveball that misses up high. Two balls, no strikes.
the 2-0 counts now. This is
way out in front, 2-1.
I think he was sitting fastball, got the changeup there. But this the fifth 2-0 count. They're 3 for 3 and a 2-0 count with a walk. We'll see what Kochman does here.
Kochman has singled tonight. 2-2. One of the Indians' 5 hits in the ball game. And the 2-2 is fouled back. Tonight's crowd bigger than last night, 36,247.
Well, hopefully they'll have a few more fireworks during the game with the Indians hitting, and they'll be able to sit back and enjoy the fireworks show afterwards.
The only run of the game for the Indians came to start when Shin-Soo Choo homered. Since then, they have not been able to push one across. Santana led off the second with a double, but they couldn't get him home. They had 2 on with 1 out in the 5th. Could not take advantage of that. That's been it, though. Payoff pitch. Fly to center. Jones has it. 2 down. For every home run hit this year by the Indians, Rick and I each make a donation of $5, while the Gathering Place donates $50 per homer. And now over $5,000 on the year at $51.60. Great needs, great deeds, great clips. Here's Jack Hanahan. He singled his last time up. And he was robbed of a hit in the 3rd inning on a diving catch in right field by Nick Markakis. And a strike called. 0-2.
You know, Tillman's thrown the ball well, too. We talked about McAllister and how he has pitched in front of a lot of the hitters. He's had 14 0-2 1-2 counts.
Yeah,
he's done the exact. These two have matched up. This has been a whale of a game.
0-2 pitch. th pitch of the night coming up right here for Tillman. And a line drive single into center. And that might be it for the youngster. We'll have to wait and see what Buck Showalter decides to do here. They'll let him face the left-handed hitting Shin-Soo Choo.
I don't think so. He's out of that dugout. He's almost sprinting out there. And he already made the call. So Hanahan is going to get Tillman out of the game after he was down 0-2. Gets the Indians' 6th hit, and Buck Showalter comes to the mound.
That's it for Tillman. 115 pitches, 6 hits, walked 1, struck out 4. He gave up the homer to Choo. He leaves with a 2-1 lead. have one on with 2 out. And Shin-Soo Choo coming up. He'll face left-hander Troy Patton, who is coming on for Baltimore. Lefty-lefty matchup.
39th time he has been in a ball game, and it's trying to get him out of this inning. Nothing new to the Indians. That first man out of the pen is going to be a left-hander.
He misses to Choo for ball 1. Vinny Pastano up in the Tribe pen. Broke his bat. Weekly bounced to short. Inning over. 7 in the books. 2-1 Baltimore.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
And it's a 2-1 Baltimore lead as we go to the 8th inning. Zach McAllister back out here. He's only made 82 pitches on the night. And his lone mistake was allowing a 2-run homer to Jim Thome in the 7th. The only runs of the night for Baltimore.
Yeah, just a fastball that he left a little bit middle and a little bit down. And it cost him 2 runs.
Chris Davis 0 for 2, fouls one back. Driven to right field. Choo reaches up and snares it for out number 1. That ball really took off on him, and for just a moment I thought, uh-oh, it might get over his head.
Yeah, it looked like it. That ball was hammered, hit very well. But Choo got there, you'll see the break, and it's his glove hand side he's going back on, so that helped. That ball was hit harder, I think, than he thought.
Bounce to third. Fair ball. Hanahan. Long throw across. Got him.
How about that play?
Baby. What a throw by Jack. Like he threw it on a wire right across the diamond.
He realized he was going to have to do that because it was just a big one-hopper. He was getting over there, and by the time it's on that second hop, he gets it, plants, and he knows he's got a long throw right on the money. Good play. Boy, that tests your arm as a third baseman right there. You know, most of the time you get those hops, you're coming in, you're going to the bag, and you throw it softly across. He had to air it out there.
Ryan Flaherty 0 for 2. Looks at a breaking ball outside.
This is the first 3-ball count of the night for McAllister.
Now a full count. And the payoff pitch. Popped back out of play. Out of play. And it remains 3-2. And that's popped up foul. And again out of play.
You know, this is interesting because both these teams are very good in one-run ball games. The Orioles 18-6 in one-run games. The Indians 14-5.
We don't see the Orioles a lot, obviously. We play them once there, once here.
Right.
This guy doesn't look like a 190-something hitter. He drives that one to deep center. Brantley back, looking up. Oh, boy. Now he really doesn't look like a 190-something hitter. It's his 4th home run of the year, his 2nd of the series. And a solo shot makes it 3-1 Baltimore. Now, you watch the way he handles the bat, you think he'd be hitting better than what the numbers indicate.
Well, you know what? He fouls off a lot of pitches, but it looks like he's on him and he fouls a lot off. But this is a 3-2. He didn't want to walk him, a fastball up out over the plate. And he takes it to straightaway central. So it shows you the power that he has. And now that's going to do it for Zach. I mean, 2 home run balls got him tonight. It's too bad. He threw the ball great.
He leaves in the 8th on the short end of a 3-1 score.
Of your Northern Ohio Hyundai dealers, we invite you to go see the all-new 2012 Sonata. Visit NorthernOhioHyundaiDealers.com today.
Well, not many hits by the Orioles, but the long ball has paid for them, and they are third in the league. They have 118 home runs now, and it's too bad McAllister pitched a dandy. But Tony Sipp now on for the Indians for the 39th time, trying to get the final out here in the 8th inning. Even though Zach McAllister, career high 7 2/3 innings, was that one pitch, that fastball up to Flaherty, the add-on, it was the home run ball to Jim Thome. That's it. Pitched great tonight.
Markakis pulls one through the right side for a base hit. Well, Rick, you can't ask. Occasionally it will happen. You can ask your starter to go out there and win a 1-0 game, a 2-1 game. But it's very difficult to ask a guy to go out there and do that. You've got to be able to score more than this team has scored. And so, there was a story I saw today with regard to the trading deadline. And again, this is, rumor speculation that the Indians are more focused now on a starting pitcher than adding a bat. I don't think they can do just one or the other. I think legitimately they need both.
Well, you have to score about 4 runs in this league to win on a consistent basis. At least 4, if not 5, in the American League. But the Indians, they've been in a tailspin since the All-Star break as far as their bats. The best series they had was in Baltimore when we were there. That was at the start of the July before we came home and finished this homestand. And went into the break pretty strong.
They won the series there. They beat the Angels
2
here
out
at home
of 3.
And had a chance to take the series from Tampa and let that one slip away. And it's almost as if, and you can't blame it on just because that game got away, but they've been spinning their wheels since. 2-0 down in the dirt. Pedro Strop, right-hander, getting hot. 3-0 pitch to Hardy. Now J.J. Hardy in a good hitter's count. He had a base hit his last time up in front of the 2-run homer by Jim Thome. Runner goes. It's ball 4. So a hit and a walk allowed by Sipp. And the inning continues as Jim Thome comes to the plate.
Well, this is the guy you bring in after, McAllister was.
Here he comes again. Now with 2 on and 2 out. Off-speed pitch for a strike to Thome. And it nicked the outside corner. 0-2. Infield shift, 3 on the right side for Thome. Hanahan playing near third. Way up high. Strikes him out to end the inning. But the O's add another on a solo homer by Flaherty. Baltimore 3, Cleveland 1, middle of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th, 3-1 Baltimore. Changes now for the Birds. They go to the right-hander Pedro Strop, who will face Cabrera, Kipnis, and Brantley. 41st appearance, 4 up, 2 down, ERA 1.5. He has whipped 33 and walked 21 in 42 innings of work. Defensively behind him, recently acquired Omar Quintanilla is at second base, and Endy Chavez is in the ballgame now in left. Asdrubal Cabrera 0 for 3 will lead it off for the Indians. Down a pair here in the 8th. As you saw from the numbers, Strop, a guy who can get a little wild at times. And he starts him off with a first pitch slider.
We saw him. Yeah, he is. He's got nasty stuff. We saw him in Baltimore. He's definitely their setup man. He's claimed off waivers from the Texas Rangers.
Fastball up and away.
That was only at 98.
Throw it by him at 97, and it's 1-2. Right back up the middle. The second baseman, Quintanilla, just into the game, makes the play to throw him out, one away. Log on to teeitupohio.com and get yourself a chance to play at the exclusive Columbus Country Club on August the 6th, thanks to Jimmy Hanlon and company. One of the top private courses in Ohio, home of the 64 PGA Championship. It's a very unique opportunity. You can sign up individually or as a group. Jason Kipnis 0 for 3. Takes a strike. Nasty pitch there. It's 0-2.
Another good fastball. Kipnis fouling it back.
That's hard to get on that fastball. It's getting on you in a hurry. You have got to put a short swing on that one.
Again, he fights it off. And the 0-2. That one bounced in the dirt. Indians with a half dozen hits tonight. A solo homer by Chu to lead off the game. A leadoff double by Santana in the second, but they weren't able to advance him with less than 2 out. Back-to-back singles with 1 out in the 5th. That's been it.
Yeah, that's the only opportunity, really, Matt, that they've had to drive anything in. It was a 1 out. They had back-to-back singles and just couldn't do it. This guy, it looks like, I think that's a splitter that he's throwing there, getting up about 91, 92, because he's throwing 97.
And the 2-2. Right back to him. 2 down. And that's going to bring up Michael Brantley, 1 for 3 on the night. He had an infield single between third and short back in the 6th inning. Brantley, who has just consistently been such a good hitter for the Indians all season long.
Yeah, well, you need that base runner to get the tying run to the plate.
45 hits in his last, or a hit in 45 of his last 52 games. He's in a good count here, 2-0. Bounced in the hole. Reynolds knocks it down. The flip to first, and they still got him. The Indians go 1-2-3. We go to the 9th, 3-1 Baltimore. 3-1 Baltimore leads at ninth inning. And for the Birds, they'll be sending up Jones, Wieters, Betamit. On the hill for the Indians now, Vinny Pistano, 42nd appearance of the year, 3-0, 160 ERA. They'll try to keep it a 2-run deficit and give the offense one last shot to rally in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, they had the lead early. They just first inning, and they haven't been able to do anything with it. Add on, the Baltimore Orioles come back and they hit the long ball. The 2 home runs in today's game. They hit 2 in yesterday's as well. Seven doubles in yesterday's game, so the extra base hit has been the call of order for the Orioles.
Vinny Pistano will take aim at Adam Jones, who is 0 for 3 tonight. A couple of ground outs and a strikeout. And a slider for strike one. Threw it by him. Did he go?
He did.
He did, says Jerry Lane. He doesn't need to appeal.
That's right.
That's a strikeout for Pistano. 1 down in the ninth.
That breaking ball down out of the zone. He started, and I think that's why it was called. He might have a legitimate beef. He didn't. He was probably just asked him to get some help. But Jerry Lane called it by himself.
Baltimore closer Jim Johnson up in the Oriole bullpen. Santana, Hafner, Damon coming up for the Indians. And another strikeout for Pistano.
Boy, you talk about getting tied up right there. He had no chance at hitting that ball.
Wilson Betamit 0 for 3. Uh-oh. High fly ball, deep left. Damon back. He's got room. And he makes the catch. Well, Betamit flies out, and the Birds go 1, 2, 3. And we will go to the bottom of the ninth. Can the Tribe rally from behind? Jim Johnson will try to close it out for the O's. 3-1 Baltimore. Bottom of the ninth inning. It'll be Santana, Hafner, and Damon due up for the Indians. Jim Johnson will try to close it out for Baltimore, looking for his 29th save of the year. Santana 1 for 2 on the night. He has doubled and walked. Then Hafner 0 for 3 and Damon 0 for 3.
Well, Johnson with 29 saves. He has had a terrific year, boy, and that sets the difference with their bullpen, how it struggled last year. This is the difference maker right here, when you can put a guy out there and you can shut it down.
And a strike called to Santana. And a curveball hit high in the air to left. A routine play for Chavez. 1 away. Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care post-game show will come your way right after the ball game here tonight. Travis Hafner 0 for 3 on the night. And takes a fastball for a strike. Cuts and misses quickly. 0-2. And that's fouled out of play. I mentioned earlier that Mike Bordick holds the consecutive games played errorless streak at shortstop at 110. It's 12 years ago tomorrow that Omar Vizquel's 95-game errorless streak ended in Minnesota.
No kidding.
And
Omar,
it was a
bad call, right?
Was 1 game short of Cal Ripken's then record 96-game errorless streak. Yeah, in that game, if you remember, it was on the turf, and Omar went to barehand a ball to try to throw the guy out, and he didn't come up with the barehand grab, and the official score ruled an error, saying he could have used his glove. The 1-2. Hit on the ground to second base, and an easy play for Quintanilla. 2 down. So another quiet night for the Indians' bats. And they're down to their last out. Jim Johnson trying to shut the door. It's down low. The 1-1 pitch. And it's in the hole. A base hit for Johnny Damon. He keeps it alive here in the ninth. And it will bring up Casey Kochman.
Well, that a boy. You keep it alive. That thing was going down and away. I'm not sure if that was a changeup. There was something going down and away, and Damon able to get the head out and pull it in the hole to keep this going. They're down to their last out, but the tying run does come to the plate.
Casey Kochman 1 out of 3 with a single on the night. And it's up and away, ball 1. This crowd of 36,247 been quiet all night long since Chu's leadoff homer in the first. They're hoping to see some late game magic before the fireworks show. It's 2-0 for Kochman, with Jack Hanahan waiting on deck. On a 2-0 pitch, kind of a half swing, 2-1. And now Kochman is down to his last strike. He's the tying run at the plate in the bottom of the ninth. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. And a little tapper right back to the mound. That'll do it. Baltimore has taken the first 2 in the series, and they win by a final score tonight of 3-1.